Welcome back. I hope you are doing great. In the previous section, we understood how do we read the data from multiple sources like structured, unstructured and also semi-structured formats, create the data frames and work on them. As a part of this section, we will delve deep into the aggregations. Let's get started with having a high level overview of aggregation as a part of this lecture. First of all, what is aggregation? What is an aggregation? Aggregation is the act of collecting something together. When you say collecting together, what are we collecting? How are we collecting? We will see that as a part of this whole section. One of the very important aspect is aggregation is the cornerstone of big data analytics. Means if you want to be there as a part of the big data engineering and analytics, you got to know about the type of aggregations available and how to use them. What do we do as a part of the aggregation? As a part of the aggregation, first thing is we will specify the specific key or grouping, and then on that grouping we will specify an aggregation function. That aggregation function would tell us how do we transform one or more columns. For example, we will take one table. Here we will have a city, here day and temp. Now let us say there is a record of temperature on a hourly basis in each of the day in each of the cities. Then key would be the combination of the city and day. So if I want to get an average of all the temperatures in a day, the key would be city and day, and average is a function to aggregate. We will be transforming the temperature column to get the average. Usually aggregations are used to summarize the numerical data. Means when we say numerical data, we are looking at how do we do the sum of multiple values, how do we get the product, and sometimes it is a simple counting also. The beauty here is we can also aggregate any kind of value into either array, list or map. So means we are not restricting ourselves to the primitive data types. We can also take the any kind of value and aggregate them into array, list and maps. We do have wonderful aggregation types or aggregation functions as a part of the Spark. What are they? First and foremost thing is we can select. Select is an aggregation, we will see that in a bit. We can go for a group by, then we can go for a window. We have grouping of the sets as well. We have roll up, we do have cube. These are the important aggregation types which are available as a part of the Spark. What do we do as a part of the select? Select is the simplest grouping. All we are doing is, if you have two columns, one is name, the second one is age of a person. If you just want to count a name and age of a person, you can go by select. Or let us take one more example. The one more example would be product, date, items sold. We have different types of products. We have apparels, we have grocery products and all those things. In a day, if you want to count how many times a particular product is sold, we can just summarize that by using a select statement. It is as simple as that. We have group by. What does group by do? Group by allows us to specify one or more keys and one or more aggregation functions to transform the value columns. It is similar to what we discussed in the beginning. You are providing a one or more keys, and when we group them together, we are aggregating the other columns. Window functions are special. Window gives us the ability to specify one or more keys as well as one or more aggregation functions to transform the value columns. In the group by, one row can get into one group, but in the window function, one row can be part of multiple windows. That is the difference between the window function and the group by function. We will see that in detail when we drill down deep into these functions. Earlier, whether it may be a window function or a group by, we have done the group by on one key and aggregation on another key. But if you want to go for a aggregation at multiple levels, we can go for a grouping of the sets. Mostly the grouping of the sets is available in SQL. We will not be discussing grouping of the sets as a part of this section, but in data frame, in Spark data frame, we do have functions like rollups and cubes which are same as that of grouping of the sets. The next important thing, as I said, grouping of the sets. Rollup is achieving the grouping of the sets. As we discussed, group by and windows are grouping the keys at one level. If you want at multiple levels in a hierarchical basis, so then we can go for a rollup. Usually in the organizations, managements want the rollup data, rollup at district level, rollup at county level, rollup at state level. All those things can be achieved by a rollup function. Cube aggregation type is taking the rollup to the next level. Now, at rollup, there is a couple of dimensions. Here in cube, we will have a multi dimensions. The cube or summarization of the columns happens across the combination of all the columns here. That is how cube works. Wonderful. We have seen aggregation types at a high level. We will drill down in each of these aggregation types as a part of the upcoming lectures. Thank you.